Okay.
Glycolysis. Glycolysis. I think I spelled that right. Okay, so to start glycolysis, what do you need to start glycolysis?
You need energy, right?
Well, you need, what is this glycan?
You need glucose.
Glucose,
Glucose,
perfect.
yeah.
So we have glucose. And what are we trying to do with this? What does this word root lysis mean? Do you know?
Break down, right?
So we are breaking down glucose.
Okay.
Or we are breaking down glucose. So in order to break down glucose, it's going to take, well, what does it usually take to do anything? What do you need? Some energy. Energy.
Right.
So we're going to use ATP. So we need
Okay,
two ATP. Sorry, I need to get out of the way. 2 ATP to break this down.
Okay.
So just know that there's going to be 2 ATP in order to initially start this process. There's one step that you might need to know. I can't remember what it's called. It's this one right here. Glucose, well, maybe you don't need to know that. Actually, let's just see.
There was something that she was talking about that 8 equals 36 or 38.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
I'll get to that.
Okay.
Okay, so just know that in the first 2 steps, I don't think you're going to need to know the names of them, but in the first 2 steps, you're going to be using 2 ATP. So then once you use 2 ATP, you get to this step called, I think it's glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate or 6-phosphate?
So there's a 3-phosphate.
3-phosphate. 3-phosphate. That says phosphate. Okay? So glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is the part where everything splits. So this is now going to split into 2. See how it shows?
So the glycolysis, that's where it always starts with 2 ATP? It always starts right there and then breaks down from there?
Well, the ATP comes in. If you look at it, it shows that in this step, 1 ATP comes in the next step, and then another ATP comes in. It's not super important though. So essentially what this all leads to is the glucose splitting into 2 parts. Okay? So once it splits into 2 parts, it's now everything that was happening before is happening double. And then a bunch of other things happen, and essentially what you end up with is pyruvate. And there's 2 of them, so there's another pyruvate over here, it's just PP, okay? And what this also is 4 ATP, so 4A, oh that's on A, TP. So you started at the top, you started with glucose, you used 2 ATP, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, split into 2 sections, went down, did some other funky steps, and then essentially you ended up with 4 ATP, but since you used 2, you only ended up with 2 ATP. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
So the whole point of this basically is your net ATP. Your net ATP is 2.
2, okay.
Okay. Does this all make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything.
Yeah. So that's just the basic breakdown then?
Yes, this is super oversimplified.
Okay.
But I'm assuming she's not gonna want you usually memorizing that's for
I don't think so.
crazy chemistrists or something.
Yeah.
So does this all make sense? Do you have any questions about this?
Yeah. There was a little chart right here that my cousin took the class and he copied one of these for me and made it. Is this basically the exact same thing? Like this,
Yeah, that's just a little bit
more complicated.
Yeah,
a little bit.
because that's showing the breakdown of because there's 6 carbons in a glucose molecule, and it's showing it's breaking it into 3 and 3, and so it's actually showing all that. I don't think you guys are gonna need to know that though.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Okay.